Hi guys, Hiptronic Hoops here, and I'm going to tell you how to fix a kink in your hula hoop. But before we begin, you'll need to round up a few items, including scissors, a saw or PVC cutter, sandpaper, 3/4 inch poly pipe couplings, a boiling pot of water, and of course, some tape. Hello Hoopers, I'm here to help you fix your hula hoop. I had a request from Caitlin today who told me that she accidentally kinked it. Well, Caitlin, I did the same thing to my hula hoop. So what do I mean by kinking it? Just in case you're not one of us and you're wondering what exactly the problem is, I'll show you. So she and I both have these collapsible hula hoops, and sometimes if you try to bend it the wrong way or you're too forceful with it, and it just bends the way it shouldn't. So here, I'll give you a demonstration. Folding it up, and then it just bends. Sometimes your friends get a little too rough with it, or they don't know what they're doing and they just accidentally break it. So we're gonna fix that. Now, even though ours are both collapsible hula hoops, sometimes you might kink your normal hula hoop and this works the same, so it doesn't necessarily have to be your collapsible hoop. But if you need to fix your normal hoop as well, this will work fine. So the first thing you want to do is peel the tape away from the area. So we'll start with that. Alright, so now that I've got the tape cleared away from the kinked area, you're going to need either a set of PVC cutters, which of course I have a set of these because I make hula hoops. Chances are you probably don't, so the next best thing you can use is some type of saw. This is specifically like a PVC cutting saw or tubing saw. I don't know, it cost me $5, but I think you can get wood saws that are similar. Maybe you already have one, or just the big, a normal saw you might have in your garage would work fine. I hear some people use kitchen knives, but I wouldn't advise that. That just sounds dangerous to me. So the next step is you're literally going to just saw it right out of the middle. So I'm going to take a couple seconds to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've sawed the kink out of it, I have two very rough edges, and you're going to want to sand those down so that they're level, and so you don't get all these weird little spiky pointy things under the tape. So I just use sandpaper. This is just some P60 sandpaper. It doesn't really matter what kind you use. You could even use a nail file, but after this you probably won't be able to use a nail file again. So the next part is you just want to sand it down.
Bum 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 pee.
So after you've got it all smoothed out and sanded down, you'll need to get a connector. The connectors that I typically use for my hoops, for all of my standard hoops, are 3/4 inch poly pipe connectors. You should be able to find them at your local hardware store. It's usually somewhere between 30 and 60 cents. I think I paid 38 cents or something. It's different depending on where you go. So there are two kinds of connectors. There's this, I think this is called Genoa, and then there's also a Lasco connector. It doesn't matter which one you use, they both work the same. But just know that if you get the Lasco connector, that it's going to have this extra little nub on it, and just sand that right off. You can use your sandpaper or your nail file just to smooth it down. But just for the sake of saving time, I'm going to go ahead and use my Genoa connector. So to put the connector in, you'll need to heat up the ends of the tubing somehow. Sometimes you can use a hairdryer, but that you usually have to hold it on there for a couple minutes and it takes a long time. I just prefer to use a boiling pot of water, which I have prepared behind me. So just take the one end of your hula hoop and just stick it in the boiling pot of water and count to 15. Alright, so now after it's all heated up and relaxed, take your connector, you'll just push it right in, and then do the same with the other side. part is to hide what you just did. I'm not going to be too fancy about it. I'm just going to put some straight up yellow tape over it. So I'll fix that really quick. Alright, now the kink is gone, the connection's all taped up and disguised, and if I wanted to make this look a little bit nicer, I would just add a couple more stripes of yellow around the hoop so it just didn't look so awkward. Unfortunately, at this point, I probably won't be able to collapse it again because the symmetry has been removed from the connection points, which wouldn't allow it to collapse correctly. But at least you can still hoop with it, and it still works the way it's supposed to.